Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
The podcast ever.
Greg Shee, where's your photo?
Hold on. It's what the fuck?
Okay.
Is that one of those photos where he's just talking, or is it?
No, this is from the music video. He's like lying there. There's like a camera in his face like this.
All right, this looks kind of sus.
I feel like that all the time.
All right, the grand reveal.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, good job. We've done it. We have welcomed you, and it only took us like 45 seconds. What's up, guys? It's been a week. How are you? How have you been? How's your week been? What have you done? Have you been productive with your life?
Is that a question for me or the audience?
Well, it's a question for the audience, but you feel free to answer it. And honestly, now you're on the spot because you asked.
Shit. Yes, no, yes, good.
Okay. So have you been productive?
Whoa. Depends.
What's holding you back, man?
I mean, depends on I guess yes. It's been more productive than the past year.
Wow.
So
the whole year wrapped up into 1 week. You've done more than you've done this whole year in 1 week?
Technically yes. In terms
the
of
whole year is only like 2 months so far. So I mean, or technically a month and a week. So you've done more in 1 week than you have in a month in like 5 weeks.
Definitely yes. But okay. I kind of meant like year as in like the time frame rather than the official start and end time.
Wow. So you're saying in 365 days you did less than you did last week?
Yes. Okay. Well, actually this week.
This past week. The past 7 days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
What'd you do that was so productive?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I have begun transferring the podcast ever to Rumble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's on Rumble.
Slowly. For whatever reason, the like auto syndication or whatever isn't working, so I have to just manually upload each video, which isn't too much of a pain, but yeah, it's going to be up there by the time this video's out.
Nice. No, my week was not all too productive. You know, I had the flu, I think. Damn. You know, exposing myself to those cold temperatures and you know, only with a few hours of sleeping and all that drinking, you know, really takes a toll on the body. On the immune system, I should say.
Regularly drinking that heavily?
Well, you know, I'm not saying regularly. I'm just saying, like, you know, just in the span of a few days where you only get like 3 hours of sleep, you're in like 30 to 40 degree weather at night, you're walking for like a half hour in it, and you're drinking, you know, man, that's going to take a toll.
Why are you getting 3 hours of sleep?
I'm not saying I am these days. I'm just saying when I was up in DC.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I'm saying that was what prone me to, you know, my unfortunate event of catching the flu. You know, somebody said his brother had it as well. You know, same symptoms. It's kind of like this thing going around, like soreness in the night when you're trying to sleep. It's hard to sleep. You're waking up. For some reason, both my shoulders, they had like this pain there, like specifically there that I'd have to like stretch it out of there. I don't know what was going on. Had congestion, but I'm okay. You know, after like 2 days of intense fatigue, it was kind of gone.
You know, everyone in my domicile is sick right now, except for me.
Because you were doing fine by your immune system and not killing by putting so much stress on it. I mean, I think travel in general is like a problem for that. It can be, at least. Or maybe it's just the other things I tend to do habitually when I travel. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed I really only get sick around the times that I am doing such things. Like when I got COVID, it was literally like,
whoa.
Okay, whoa. When I got a virus, miraculously, that I don't even know the name of, I the week before I was doing pretty well as far as exercise and all that, but then I had a friend come over for first of all, I had him come over for like this thing he was doing, you know, like that. Well, he had time off work and he just wanted to hang out and we wanted to go out, so we did that. And this is a guy that you've been out with, you know, you've hung out with him, he's been to my place, like, you know, and we've like, you know, he's been there, like stayed there like for a few days on end.
Beard or no beard?
Beard to go, hang out to the clubs and all that. But let me say this. So I had been doing well until that night, or until that morning, I guess. I wake up early. I exercise still that day, but then we just hang out the next few days, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to like the pub. I'm going here. I'm going there. Sleep is kind of affected by that, or at least the sleep schedule. Eating is a little bit affected because even back then I wasn't really like focused on optimal diet as much as I am now. Wasn't even sure exactly what I should be eating compared to what I do now. So no exercise, which I thought, exercise was probably the best thing to be doing every day, though that's not even the case now. But still, like, I got off that sort of schedule. I got off the exercise schedule. I got off the eating habits. I got off the sleep habits. We were like hanging out in the night. And so I go to like a concert too. And then I'm like traveling like a couple hours out right after that with like barely any sleep. And then I'm like going to this conference, and after the conference, then is when I get the not the sleep problems, the sickness, the virus, the miraculous virus that will not be named. And it was it was not great. I heard that. It kind of did hit me a little bit, quite a little bit. But that's what I'm saying. So usually when I get sick, it's like I'm doing something different. I'm doing something that's like stressing me out, or I'm off a schedule or something like that. And I think that's what's weakening the immune system.
Was this just like the last week this happened?
No, that miraculous virus happened in like are you talking about the flu?
Right,
I just got the flu, but the miraculous virus happened in like 2021 or something.
I mixed up the two anecdotes.
Or maybe 2022. Maybe halfway through 2022. I think maybe possibly. Yeah,
I got it in 2020.
Huh? No, it wasn't.
I did. You're late.
Yeah, no, I was quite late to it. I was everybody's getting it. I didn't get the virus prevention juice, and and I didn't do that. So I was just sitting around. It wasn't happening. My parents were like, "Please get the virus juice," and I was like, "I don't really want to get the juice," and I really hate that. I don't want to have to show that receipt as proof of getting the juice either. And so I didn't get it. And for the longest time, I was fine. I mean, I had gone to events in person. I was not sheltering myself. I was fine. I wasn't, putting on the virus face blocker either. And I wasn't even doing that. And I was okay until that day that week, I guess, that I had gone off the routine of my normal self. And so it's really around those times again that I'm getting any sort of sickness. Other than that, I really just generally don't get sick. I feel healthy. I don't feel tired a lot of the time. I really just feel good.
It's funny you mentioned that. I used to get sick like every 3 months. It's pretty bad.
Right.
And then that's when it happened. The great plague of 2020 of an unknown virus that I will not name.
Yes.
That was the turning point. Not to be associated with Turning Point USA. But anyway, at that point in time, I completely avoided it after getting it. This would have been a great story with Papa John. Next time, I guess.
You're saying you got the yellow fever?
Depends on what you mean by it. I'm coming around to one version of it. Okay. The other one, I guess I did, get like just full blown. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so basically that was peak NEAT. Well, not NEAT because I was still in college, but basically I didn't go outside for several months at all. Not because I was not because I was fearful of the Great Plague. No, I am a medieval strongman. I care not for the woes of the sick. But yeah, no, I just didn't have anything to do, so I just sat at home and everything. Exactly, and they said you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. So that's what I did. I just kind of sat at home. I was like, all right, there's something I can do, and then that's when it hit me one day, waking up at 3 p.m. I should probably do something. So that's when I began Walking in the woods for like 3 hours in the hot sun. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. And I don't even think I've gotten the flu in years. Like I think the last time I probably got it was sometime in maybe high school. I don't even know if I got it in high school. I've only had it a few times.
How do you differentiate a flu from a cold?
I mean, I don't know, man. When you have that like fever going on for a few days and it's hard to sleep and it's not just congestion, or like just a slight fatigue, like it's actually like your body, it feels like it's at war, then you got that flu.
I might have had it like earlier. Well, I guess last year now.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was
I don't know. My body's been protecting me pretty well. One time, I remember my roommate, my not gay roommate, he had it, and I was like, "Hey, man, cover my face."
Wait. Not gay or like not gay?
The sus roommate.
Okay.
Anyway, I was like, "Hey, man, cough in my face," and he just did it, and I breathed it in, and I didn't get the flu.
He had it?
He had it, and I asked him to cough in my face.
It sounds like a kink, bro. That's a little.
Well, I just wanted to protect myself against it instead of getting the shot.
That sounds like a cope somebody with a kink would say.
Well, I thought it was like, it's kind of like how vaccines work.
Whoa, he said the word.
Well, it's a flu vaccine.
Is that how it works? You're not allowed to talk about the one, but you're allowed to talk about the other.
I'm not saying it doesn't work though. That's the thing. I'm not even saying it doesn't work. I'm saying I think that's how they work, because you get like a dead version of it that your body fights. Instead, I'm just having somebody give me a version of it coughed into my face and my body fights it that way.
By the way, we are not medical professionals. This is not medical advice. But, it might be better for your body if you get a live version of it rather than a dead version, because now you actually have to put up a fight.
Well, it works if your body is not immunely compromised, which a lot of people these days, and it's not even like you don't even have to have like a, those like labeled immunodeficient sicknesses that the doctors will say, oh, yes, you are immunodeficient, or if your immune system has a problem. A lot of people just have that because of what they're eating. So, if anything, I'm just saying, if you were to get any version of a juice or something like that, if you were to juice while you were in this state, whether you're known to be immunocompromised or not, it could affect you negatively because your immune system's not really necessarily prepared to fight these things. I'm just, to vaguely put it that way. All these oils,
You're saying you don't want people to be juiced up?
Not if you're eating the problematic oils that affect your body negatively. They're in everything.
They are. That reminds me of last night when I had a particular craving I haven't had in many moons. I used to make this like dish. I don't even know why I'm calling it a dish. I saw this YouTube video about making like a cookie in like a mug or whatever, like 4 or 5 years ago during plague times, by the way. So that's how it was it's buried down in there. But anyway, so I used to make it often, and it was basically a chocolate chip cookie or whatever. And I was thinking, damn, I kind of have a craving for this, but I don't want to use flour. And I mean, more or less the rest of the ingredients are kind of fine. So what I did was I figured, okay, well, almond flour I have, and I mean, it's not great, but it's a lot better than like wheat flour. Yeah, wheat flour. So what I did is I mixed that, and I added just a tiny bit of wheat flour, just so it didn't have a weird texture. And I mean, it came out pretty great. I just probably should not be eating that like a lot, or at all, really.
I actually made my own condensed milk today, like sweet condensed milk, with like just like a cup of sugar and a couple cups of milk, and just like simmered it for like a half hour. It was pretty good. It looks sus, but yeah, but it doesn't taste sus. Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't. Hold on.
Point being, I made these like pancakes with it, where I would do like an egg, a tablespoon of sugar, and then a tablespoon of the condensed milk, and like mix it up and put it on the cast iron. Apparently it's supposed to taste like French toast. I kind of got that a little bit, but I was like, I don't know. I put maple syrup on it and everything. I was more happy about the sweetened condensed milk than the pancakes at that point, honestly.
Oh, were you making the like banana pancakes or whatever?
No, it was like just an egg, just like sugar, cane sugar, and then the sweetened condensed milk. It's like just that. It was called a pancake.
Pancake?
Yeah, like kek, you know?
What?
You know kek.
Like Kekistan?
Yeah, like Kekistan. It was a pancake. That's what it was called on the website.
What kind of website were you finding it on? Fucking
Recipes,
4chan?
man. It's recipes.
Oh.
I don't know, man. There's in the repeat community, there seems to be a lot of like people like that are like pretty fun. Honestly, like especially like some of those Twitter people, they must be X4chan users or something. I'm in a Discord server too where there's a lot of them.
You should send me a link to the Discord server.
Yeah, well, I found it on this guy's. I don't know if I want to name drop it because it's like I'm talking about a specific account here, but I'll just say it and you can do what you want with it. His name is PD Plantation Owner.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, I'm just saying it. I don't know if you want me to call out specific Twitter accounts like smaller ones like that or something.
I don't give a shit as long as it's not me.
Yeah. Anyway, I joined his server and it was funny to see these kinds of people. I don't know. I just start shit posting sometimes. Not really shit posting. If anything, I talked about because one recipe I put up on there because they have like a food channel. I said Pajit water mocktail. And so it was like this brown water because it has thyroid, like desiccated thyroid in it. And it's like coconut water. And it has like desiccated thyroid and maple syrup. And it's like a brown water. So, you know, what else would I call it? And one guy's like, you got to have like trace amounts of fecal matter in there. And
yeah.
Yeah. I also, you know, I actually mentioned this in there as well, but this might be better just as a story for the show. So the other day, because I was sick, I couldn't really taste that well. And so some things were tasting kind of strange. Maybe not everything. It's just specifically for some reason I was finding milk to taste a little strange. So like, I was like, why is milk tasting strange to me? And so like I pour out the milk and it's like, I don't know why it's a little thicker than I'm used to seeing it, but I'm like, the expiration date doesn't even say it's expired. So that doesn't make sense. I'm like, I smell it. Doesn't really smell that off to me or anything, but I can barely smell. So I'm like, hey mom, smell this. She smells it. She's like, it smells fine. I take the milk. I look at it. It's like, it's weird. The texture is a little weird, but I put it in the microwave with some maple syrup. It comes out like separated with like the fats and like the liquids separated. I'm like, that's strange, but maybe the maple syrup just wasn't mixed well enough and it kind of like boiled it out or something. I don't know. Something weird like that. I started drinking it and it tastes fine with like, it tasted weird by itself. With the maple syrup, it just tasted okay. But then, it's like got this weird texture to it, man. It's like the fats are all like clumped up and I'm like, this is not right, but you know, I'll drink it. I drink a whole cup of it. And so then my dad goes to the milk, he tries some and he's like, what the hell is this? So apparently milk has been spoiled way before the expiration date. Somehow, I don't know what about the batch or, you know, something maybe in the processing got mixed up. But yeah, no, the milk was just not good at all for consumption. And yet I drank a whole glass of it and I was fine.
Whenever I smell the milk and it smells like it's been past its due, I just kind of keep drinking it.
Well, you know, this milk, it was still like, you know, it didn't give me problems, but like, I mean, man, like if I had normally drank this milk, it probably would have tasted like shit to me.
Yeah, you get used to it.
So
I don't know.
You don't even find that it gives you problems after it starts tasting weird?
No, it usually starts tasting weird pretty soon.
You get like regular pasteurized whole milk?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, the thing is, well, I mean, I don't know what that tastes like. Maybe that's part of it.
No, it just tastes like milk. It's just it's missing one of the proteins that a lot of cows have these days because of a genetic mutation.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe that's part of why it tastes different when it's spoiled rather than normal milk when it's spoiled.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Expiration dates, unless it's like a year over, I kind of just ignore them.
What about milk?
Oh, I keep drinking it. Like, it'll be like a week after, and I'm like, well, this is fine.
It's within a year?
If it's less than a year?
And it's milk.
I mean, it's still in the fridge.
Okay. Well... You know, this isn't as much of an issue with raw milk because apparently the milk will just start turning into kefir. So if it were raw milk, I could see it, but like pasteurized, no, they mess it up.
I mean, this is true, but at the same time, I paid for this milk. I'm gonna drink it.
Right.
So I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Gotta get
though,
your money's worth.
the first guy I've encountered, I don't know if I assume it's the first guy you've encountered too. That was part of the old peating off business. Uh, he was the kind of guy that I would expect to be on that kind of stuff, like the 4chan-esque stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was a commonality.
I mean, you know what I've noticed with like all these how do I put it? Sort of
Esoteric? Or is it something else you're trying to say about it?
that wasn't the word I was going to use, but it's a nice word. I could talk about that later actually. But yeah, esoteric, basically anti-mainstream or whatever kind of things, whether it's like it kind of attracts the same kind of people. So if like you're anti-mainstream in terms of politics or I don't know, one specific science, it kind of leads you down another rabbit hole. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It can be, obviously. But I think when you get into that level of, well, it turns out the experts don't know what the fuck they're talking about, you kind of just start looking at everything and you end up down rabbit holes you didn't even think existed.
Yeah, I
That
see.
being said, I do not condone the 4chaners. I don't know, maybe it's weird too. Have you ever been on 4chan? There's only like 2 channels that are known for being 4chan-esque. The rest are kind of just like Reddit.
Yeah, I mean, it has an association itself. So, I mean, I feel like if people were offended enough by that kind of stuff, they probably would have stopped using it.
Yeah,
So it at least weeds out those people.
it does.
But are there a lot of normies that have 4chan accounts?
I don't think so. I think because it's so old and that Reddit is basically the same thing and a bit more tidy, that there's not really a reason to be there unless you're on the other 2 boards that everybody knows it for.
Yeah. I don't
Or
know,
maybe you're
man.
just like an OG internet person. Maybe that.
Reddit
But I mean, I
Reddit has some
imagine
weird stuff on there that isn't even like, like what we would think about as like the weirdos. But I'm talking about like, I mean, a little bit more of the esoteric stuff if you dig deep enough.
you're talking about the people that piss in the sink getting pissed off about the logo turning trans.
Yeah, they're like, well, I don't know how, I haven't seen that actually happen. I just seen the meme about it, but yeah, apparently the r/sink pissers got mad that the mods went woke because they put the trans flag on the community.
That's such a weird.
Reddit.
Like that's not. I mean, I don't assume. It's just a weird community for them to be pissed off about that specifically. I wouldn't think they care considering they're pissing in sinks. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do they, is this a sexual thing? Is this a fetish?
I feel like it would have to be at some point.
Okay, so let's assume it is for most of the people in there. Now, you can probably have a fetish without liking trans people or thinking that, they're that being cool with them. You don't have to be cool with them to be weird, in that department. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe they're probably, I mean, there's the group, the gays that against groomers, and then they always talk about like how they don't like specific things being done when it comes to what's taught in schools and all that, and a lot of it comes out to be not the most pro as far as transgenderism. So all my point there being is that, there are even gay people that don't like them. So
yeah, we live in a weird world.
Point proven.
I'm not gonna.
Even gays don't like them.
Yeah, but I mean, changing topic.
Well, it's just a true point. I'm not really making any sort of value judgment on it. I'm just saying this is the world we live in,
Yeah, that's kind of all I can really say without going deep into it. We live in a society.
We do. That's what the show's really about.
Living in a society.
Yeah.
Should I put that in the description?
I mean, it's part of it. It's integral. It's an integral part. Now, what did you want to move on to?
I did want to mention, I guess, casually, I started looking into esotericism in the proper sense, like on YouTube and stuff like that, which, I mean, for the audience, it's basically, and I could be wrong, let me actually look up the definition. It started with me kind of just looking casually into like religion No, not because I'm like looking to be religious or anything like that, but because I'm kind of there's so much lore there that I've always been kind of interested in to some extent.
But you didn't have to cut me off.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, I'm aware of people. There's like a lot of political movements that I won't mention by name that use esotericism as like a basis for it, and I got to stop doing that because now it just sounds worse than it actually is. If you look into like political theories and stuff like that, especially like the further not left ones, they use a lot of that stuff. So I'm always looking into stuff to like try and understand how they got to that point and whatnot. And I mean, like mentioned before, we do know like that one guy that was kind of bordering on that stuff. But anyway, I fell down a rabbit hole of that. And basically, it's like a weird combination of like mysticism, like in the pagan variety, mixed with like heterodox Christianity and Judaism. It's weird. But yeah, there's some wild stuff in there.
So is there an iceberg video that I can watch?
I don't know. I don't fucking watch iceberg videos.
Man,
I saw one.
You understand the concept. You just start watching those.
I didn't even think of that. I should try that. No, basically, I looked up like one specific topic. I think it was about like the Gnostics, and the Gnostics are wild. They basically believe that. I think it's I brought this up before when you were talking in your server about something. The Gnostics believe like that God is evil, or well, that the God of the Old Testament isn't actually God. Mm-hmm. He's just like an evil creator, and Jesus comes back as the actual God, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? You guys are worshiping the wrong guy. Get on the system." And like it like turns into a weird pseudo / not very pseudo Platonism, because it's all about the creator God, which is called the demiurge, the evil God. He created the material world, and he locked everybody's souls into their physical bodies as a prison. And the way to escape that is to realize that your body and the physical world is temporary or not real in a sense, and that you truly belong as a living soul, ghost, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, shit's wild. And that's also where you get like
a lot and shit.
Yeah. That's where you get the that's where like all the magic and sorcery shit comes from, like all the like Wiccans and Satanists and all that. It's all rooted in that, and like Kabbalah, which is like the Jewish version of like esotericism basically. It's fucking weird as shit though. But yeah, I've been diving deep into that. It's been pretty interesting. And you know, now that I think about it, I think it was because I was listening to this one band, Morbid Angel, which is, I mean, if you listen to like death metal, you're probably aware of who they are. But if you read the lyrics, and I mean, usually you don't, because I mean, it's more of like an instrumental kind of genre to begin with for obvious reasons. But if you look at the lyrics, and I kind of just brushed over them, there's like a lot of shit where he's like saying something where you're like, I kind of know what he's talking about, but what the fuck is this? Like you'll mention something like a Sumerian god or whatever, and then it'll turn into something else entirely. So that's kind of where that root started from, I think. But yeah, if you're interested in some wacky stuff, I recommend looking into esotericism.
Why also would apparently one want to learn about this?
What?
Why would one want to learn about this?
Oh, because it's linked to Hitler and Marx. So basically, the Gnostic Christians, the ones that believe in the evil God and all that, I think like there's like some political YouTuber that made a video about this, I think, that was shared in your server, I think, about Marxism and like fascism. But anyway, Gnosticism is the like basis for like what became perennialism, which is basically the idea that every religion has some form of truth, but you need to like unite them all to get the one truth or whatever, and that you need to return to a pre-civilized state or something like that. And that you can see that if you know like basic political theory. Sorry?
Ted Kaczynski?
I mean, it does kind of get to that, yeah. Like, if you know like basic political theory, that is kind of the foundation for like Marxist communism, and to an extent also like Nazism and fascism as well. Wait, can I say that? Whatever. It's like what, like 20 minutes into the show. They won't find that.
Good.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's the foundation for that. So I don't know if you want like a practical like use for it besides just being kind of morbidly interested. You can see how it is kind of total bullshit. I guess if you need any more convincing, but yeah, it's wacky.
So why did the evil god create the world? I mean, I know to like imprison people. Well, why would he do that?
I don't know. It's
so
still
mysticism. What existed before this? Like just a realm of souls?
I think so.
But did this god create that realm of souls, or did he also just live there and had the power to do this?
It's really weird when you get into these concepts because it's full of contradictions a lot of the time. I mean, like regular religion kind of is on its basis, but then when you get into like this weird esoteric stuff, it gets even more complicated because now you're basing it off of a system that already has a few holes in it or a few like unresolved stuff, and then you're adding more stuff to it that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, but you still didn't really explain this part, and now you're adding stuff that I don't even know what you're talking about. Where does that come from? I am not super well versed in it yet because I am kind of still just dipping my toes into it, but I would assume that the souls either were always there or that the actual god just emanated them into being, and then the creator god was like, yeah, I hate these people because I'm evil, so I'm going to bind them into physical form, and they will be bound by their lust and physical materialism and all that. Yeah, but then you see, the biggest question I have is, if there's only one god and he's the actual god, where was he the entire time when this other guy was like, yeah, I'm going to trap you in the physical form? Was he just like, oh, shit, I'm chilling?
He just didn't know about it, obviously. So he's not all powerful.
Exactly.
No, he knew about it, and it was actually a test.
I like the idea. I like the idea of him just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll fix that eventually. Yeah, I can't be bothered right now.
Right. He was doing other stuff. Like, what would he have been doing if there was no material world?
Bringing the garbage bins in.
But there were no garbage bins. There was no garbage. How did they see?
Spiritual garbage.
How did they see? If there was no material around there, how did they see?
I have no idea. I don't think they did, because the whole concept behind it, and you find this in Platonism, is that, in Platonism, he basically says that you were in the world of forms, and then you just forgot when you were born.
Right.
So maybe something like that. Maybe we saw in a way we couldn't even understand, and then once you're in the physical world, we couldn't understand seeing in any different way besides the physical way.
Is this real, chat?
Chat, is this real? Chat.
It's like Plato's cave, yeah. Jeez.
I want to see him do a reaction on something like that. I think he was kind of getting into that with a big Albanian guy when they were still streaming together.
With the flat earth stuff?
Nah, they were getting into like religion. But yeah, the flat earth stuff was kind of wild too.
It's kind of part of it. Is this real, chat? You know?
Chat. He's sitting right next to
the documentary on the flat earth, and at the end of it, he's like, you know what? You're probably right. It does make sense that the earth's flat.
It's the best thing too, because it's like the first time he's being exposed to it too. He's not even taking like a minute to like register it or like question it. He's like, yeah, no, that's actually that's wild, dude. That kind of makes sense. I love the idea of him sitting right next to a guy that's actually telling him, chat, is this real? Chat, can you believe this? Oh my god, chat. Oh god. What a guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah. Moving on from the esotericism, I guess. By the way, I don't know, probably shouldn't plug any channels because probably get some like unwanted attention. But anyway, you just Google it if you're interested, or like use Wikipedia, one of those two. But today is the day of Saint Valentinian.
Oh, I actually meant to do the clap for that one. But yeah, that was still appropriate.
Yeah, it kind of is. I remember when it was still, that might have been because I was in like a Catholic school, but I remember when it was Saint Valentine's Day, and they removed Saint There's a war in religion, bro. They're trying to get rid of us. Well, them,
Yeah.
not me. But yeah, it's I don't know. That was like a side tangent. But yeah,
I mean, even in Spanish, you know, I think it's like they say like Dia de Amor y Amistades. So it's like, you know, it's not even
Day
like
of the Love of Friends.
well, day like of love and friends. Yeah, it's like Dia del Amor y la Amistad.
Oh, damn, I can't get past your fucking pronunciation.
Bruh.
I think it's because of the dialect that I'm assuming you picked up from your people.
Those natives.
Is it? I thought you said that your side that isn't dark.
No, they're not. I'm just, you know, I got some hillbilly family.
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
Yeah, those mountain people.
Mine's the complete opposite.
They speak that ghetto speak.
Hey, oye, mami. But yeah.
Mierda.
Are you planning anything for the day of wait, hold on. Let me go back actually. So wait, am I supposed to give like a bouquet of flowers and like candy to like my friend?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you just give them a card.
That sounds even worse. That's even more sus.
No, man. It's just, you know, it's, I don't know. Maybe give them a piece of candy or something.
Imagine me walking up to you one day and I just give you a box of sweethearts and I say something like, Feliz Dia de la... I don't even remember what it was called, but Happy Valentine's Day or whatever. Happy Day of Friends.
Dia de Amor y Amistad.
Yeah. You wouldn't feel like kind of sus about that?
No, I mean, the sweethearts, I think is well, you know, honestly, all of that was sus. Let's be real.
Exactly.
But I mean, the sweethearts, I think was a sus candy choice, if anything.
Well, it's a day.
Did they have to be shaped like hearts?
According to the marketing, yes.
Well, according to the marketing, but I don't know. You think there are guy friends giving each other like box of chocolates with a heart shape on it, even in like other countries?
I'm not actually sure how widespread that holiday is. I don't know if it's like Halloween where it's kind of only an American thing or not.
I don't know, man. But all I'm saying is, you know what though? I did see this video with this guy. He's like this Arab guy, and he goes to other countries. And there was like these kids from I don't even know what country. They're probably some like, you know, they were like mud hut kids, but you know, like brown mud hut kids. And like
no, the white mud hut kids.
Well, they were like the lighter ones. Like they were like there was some sort of like I don't even know what ethnicity they exactly were, but you know, they were probably some form of Arab or Indian, something like that, right? Something along those lines. And one of them had his arms around the other little kid. He's like, "Are you guys gay?" And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like, you know, you have his arm around you." And he's like, "No, we're friends." And he's like, "Oh, in America we do this." And then he has them hold hands.
What?
Instead of put his arm around him, he's like, "Yeah, in America we do this. We hold hands." And then they just start holding hands.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what he made him do on the reel.
The Arab guy?
Yeah, the one from America.
Well, I mean, how was his voice?
No, he wasn't gay. He was just fucking with them.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say an Arab guy tells you that.
Yeah, because he was questioning why the kid had his arm around the other kid. He's like, you know, he was trying to make a joke about it, but you know, he had them do something like even more sus.
Yes. Just walk into the fuck. What do you call that again? The Medina over there. And make sure you're holding hands. It'll be great. And then they just get like blown up.
But anyway,
the high score.
There was I don't know why I just thought of this story. I might have said this on the show. I don't know, but when I was little, I went with my like family friends to like Olive Garden, and as we were leaving, we were in the car, and we look out at the Olive Garden. There's two gay men kissing. We're like, ew, men kissing? What the fuck? We didn't say fuck, but we were like, what the hell is that? You know?
You and your family?
Well, me and the other like kid that was like of the family friend.
Okay.
And I think the family was just kind of like okay with us doing that too, because they were like, well, it makes sense. They're grossed out by it. The kids, it's not normal to them. I don't know if they thought it was normal at the time. Maybe they do now, but I'm sure, even at that point, it was like kind of weird to do such a thing in public. So not like it is now. I remember growing up when it was weird to do that.
I remember in my day.
That was my day. That was my day.
It was in fact the days.
Those were the days, right? The good old days.
Yeah.
Now,
well, not even that put a value judgment on it.
Well, I'm just saying it was good old days because I'm nostalgic for a time when I was a kid and everything was better, and I'm just saying.
Didn't suck.
Yeah, the economy didn't suck, and other things. But that just reminded me of Valentine's Day, because I'm sure these days, if there are two Valentines who are men, in these times they're very accepting, those men would have no problem kissing in public, and the people around them, for the most part, would probably just be like not even fazed by it.
I feel like they would go out of their way to do it too, like as a
the New Year's thing that was on that one channel that they like just straight up like panned over to those guys as soon as it hit New Year's.
Wait, what? I
didn't see it at night of, but on Instagram they were going over this like news coverage of it, where one channel, first thing they show after the ball drops is two men kissing.
Wow.
Yep.
I guess they really needed those ESG scores to go up.
Well then, that could be it.
I mean, that's kind of.
But I think we've gotten off topic a little bit. I'm just wondering if two straight men give each other anything for Valentine's Day anywhere that is heart shaped.
I feel like they have to in France. That's like the capital of gay.
Okay, but what about in the U.S.? You see that all? You think like in an office setting, there would be.
Hey Frank, it's Valentine's Day. I just decided to get you something here, like a cubicle or something. Yeah. So, thanks, Steve. Wait, are we assuming they're gay or straight?
No, they're straight guys.
Oh. Maybe it's like a joke.
I'm asking about their behavior. What do they do? What did they do on Valentine's Day with other straight guys? I've never had to do such a thing. I've never been in an office setting where this is normal.
Well, I mean, we know a guy that works in an office, so you could probably ask him. But what I think, most men are in a situation where they're bound to their woman, not in a romantic sense, by the way. I mean, in like a necessity sense. So I think what they would do is they would probably, after work or whatever, because, we live in a wage slave society. Damn, I'm just really ripping off the Band-Aids left and right here. But anyway, after work or whatever, that entire night, and maybe even the night before and night after, is dedicated to their female friend. So there is no guy interaction whatsoever at all.
During the workday,
they probably just like, hey, what you got planned, Frank? Date out with the missus? Yeah, we're going to in this economy, McDonald's, and we're gonna get like a heart-shaped Big Mac or something like that. Which, by the way, Big Mac. They should do that. That's a great
because of the cardiac arrest.
Exactly. I might be eating myself into an early death, but at least I'm eating myself into an early death with you.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I was in DC, these guys wanted to eat lunch before this thing we were going to, and like the first place they stop at is McDonald's, and then like the night of, when we go out and everybody's like, yeah, we're still hungry, man, first place they think of to go is McDonald's.
I mean, to be fair, it is kind of like mostly reliably open late.
I know, but I don't know why many McDonald's trips.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've kind of had like a renaissance of eating fast food, unfortunately, mainly because it's convenient and I'm broke. But I'm still, trying to make the best out of it. The only time I will eat bread willingly, for the most part, is if it's a cheeseburger and I don't feel like going to the hassle of like, what, you really don't want bread on it? And then they fuck up the order or something like that. But yeah, that shit screws you up. Like, I feel it immediately after eating a quarter pounder, even though the quarter pounder is probably like the best thing on the menu there. I feel like, stomach upset, basically. Mm-hmm. Just complete intestine devastation. Now, it's not like Mexican food, obviously, but like you feel it while you're digesting it, is what I'm saying.
eating out in general is just like terrible now.
Yeah, you're really just like rolling the dice. And if you want to get something nice, like a steak or like lamb or anything like that, I mean, you're fucking draining your wallet.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm like going out, I may as well. I don't really go out as much to eat anymore anyway. So
I'm trying to limit it for multiple reasons. But quick side tangent, I will say. People I know like Burger King, and I couldn't understand why. So I was like,
I hit the drive-through at Burger King. Can I please get a Whopper Junior with onion rings?
see, it's great for the memes, but outside of that, it's like, the
Memes
fuck?
like the Crown. Can I get a water?
May I please have a water? Please?
I'm West African. I can say it.
You should have pointed at the crown and like the scene from Shrek. I have this crown and it makes me king. See? See? Is he saying it? But yeah, I really want a Burger King crown. I should have asked for one when I ordered it. But anyway, I went to Burger King the other day and I was okay, let's see. What's the hype behind this? And I get it now. I do get it. Now, one thing I will say that I remembered and is still in fact true is I have no idea why, but Burger King has this dedication to absolutely plastering your sandwich with a ridiculous, inhuman even amount of mayonnaise. It's disgusting. Like, I mean, mayonnaise on its own is like an issue health-wise, first of all, but their brand of mayonnaise too, it doesn't even taste great. And it's over the whole fucking sandwich. The sandwich is moist in like the wrapped thing. And it's not even just from the grease, it's from the fucking mayonnaise.
Jeez.
It's like the one like McChicken photo like that, but it's all mayonnaise.
Whoa.
I hope. I really hope. But anyway, what I will say about them though is their sandwiches are fucking massive, bro.
Yes.
Like I went in there and I was expecting it to be like the size of a quarter pounder because like on the menu it says our quarter pound patties or whatever. So naturally I got a sandwich that had no vegetables on it and it was just meat basically, but like 2 patties. So it's the meat to bread ratio is not horrible basically. But anyway,
mayo on there.
I didn't know it had mayo on it. That was my mistake. I should have known that was like the imperative. I'm pretty sure if they don't put mayo on it, they get like executed in the back or something like that. For legal reasons, that is a joke. I used to get my go on.
Just like I'd say, can I get a plain cheeseburger? And it would just be the bun, the cheese, and the burger.
Nah. Well, one, those are smaller.
Burger, they're just not going to put anything in it.
I guess I got like some like thing that had like bacon on it, so it's like a promotional item or whatever. But anyway, where's it going with that? Yeah, like I was expecting it to be like the size of a quarter pounder, but it was like 2 times the size. It was ridiculous. And the thing is, I usually, if I'm eating something like that, like fast food, I usually order 2 sandwiches instead of the side because I'm not going to eat those fries that are like basically dripping in death grease.
Yeah.
But I ordered 2 sandwiches and I was like, shit, this is like 3,000 calories right here. What the fuck? But yeah, shit's insane. So, I mean, if you're going to go somewhere and you want to get the most calories for your buck, I mean, that makes more sense than McDonald's. Yeah. I do think it will lead to your death earlier, though, than McDonald's, probably.
Maybe so. I don't know if their burger is 100% because I know, like, McDonald's, for example, it actually is 100%. I think Wendy's too. I don't know. But Wendy's has small portions.
Really? I didn't think so.
Compared to Burger King and McDonald's? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they're like on par with like McDonald's. Their burgers are pretty decent size.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the 4 for 4.
I could be misremembering too, but
I used to only really order the 4 for 4.
4 for 4 is kind of a great deal, I'm not gonna lie.
Jeez.
But yeah, I gotta stop eating fast food. But anyways, going back to the Valentine's Day thing, have ye any plans?
You know, no. I thought about it. I'm like, should I go with the boys? Now, I really don't have that many people that I could think of that would want to do that tonight. Because it's like, they'd be like, why? For what?
Start interrogating you.
For what? Also, one of my good friends that I usually go out with, you know, he has a girlfriend, so I assume he's doing something with her.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Bro, you just hang out on Discord. That's all you do.
Oh, wait, for a relationship?
No, I'm just saying, for hangouts with the boys. Just go on Discord.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right, happy
Now,
Valentine's Day,
have you heard of
kitten.
any good events? Maybe club events tonight,
I
openings.
think I did. Hold on, where's my phone? There's that one place advertising the one burlesque thing for a while.
Burlesque.
Yeah, I remember that one place we go to that isn't a club of that variety, but like an actual like dance club. And they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, we got this," and it was like, my first reaction was, "Why?" It's like a weird place to do that. Um, oh, that's right. I stopped following them because they posted something I didn't like. So I was like, "That's it. I'm done." Hold on, let me look
Was
it
it
up.
two men kissing?
No, it was some artists because they're like a venue first and foremost, and they put like a picture of some guy that looked really sus, and I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm not really, but
You expect
I'm
me
not
to
for
put up
this.
with this?
I mean, it's like the Duolingo thing you sent me. I still have my
Oh.
streak, but I'm seriously looking for alternatives now.
After the BBL video with Dr.
That was
Miami?
See, it's one thing if it's like a fan thing and maybe they like, oh, haha, that's funny. But no, it was them. They got the Duolingo suit. They went to fucking, I'm assuming Miami. They made like a mock BBL thing. And I'm like, I'm just trying to learn Spanish, man. I don't need to
I thought
see
that was
this.
funny.
No, it pissed me off.
I thought it was kind of funny. Like I don't like Dr. Miami, and I thought it was kind of corny that they brought him in, but I thought the concept was kind of funny.
I mean, it was funny, but at the same time, now I'm gonna think of that every time I'm trying to learn some fucking how to say the conjugations to estar or whatever.
Like the Duolingo bird getting a BBL. Is the Duolingo bird a woman?
I have no idea.
Now it is.
Probably. Do men? Have you ever known a man getting a BBL?
Bro, there's this fucking like Asian guy
Oh,
that on Twitter that like he has like the body like, like it looks like he's done many modifications, but like he puts in his Twitter bio that he's a man still. Like he's like, I'm male, but I do these things to my body to look like a woman. Like he didn't say that, but like that's what he does. And there was this guy I follow who fell for it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this woman's like hot or something," and then somebody's like, "It's a guy." It's like, no way. And
I'm
then now he
lady
just
boy.
acknowledges it as a guy. Yeah, that's Lady Boy.
God damn. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything for
I
tonight.
can't even trust Thai women at this point.
I do see the post that made me unfollow. I guess I'll send it to you.
I just can't trust like Thai women in general. You look at them and you're like, nah, you remind me of a lady boy now.
It's a connotation. It's like, well, your culture is inseparable from this now. So I mean, it's not your fault, but I mean,
Yeah. It's like you look authentically like a woman, but when I think of you, I'm gonna think of a lady boy. So I don't even want to be with you.
That's it. You killed it. You ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, they ruined it for you. Go talk to them.
I mean, personally, I don't really think. I'm sure they exist, but I don't really find people of like Southeast Asia to be that attractive. And especially the things I've heard about, I think even on Instagram, there's like memes about Vietnamese women. There's so many here, bro. And every time I hear some like relationship that's like odd or just not ideal, or I mean, quite frankly, like some form of like infidelity on the woman's part or whatever, it's always a Vietnamese woman for some reason.
What are they, like nurses or something?
Okay, the one I'm thinking of actually, yes, but
yeah, well, see, there you go.
but like it's even beyond that.
It's nursing, and therefore you're gonna hear a lot more stories about them. That actually kind of lines up when you think about it.
That's fair.
Because a woman who's Asian is most likely to go into some sort of field like such as medicine. And if they're going to go into the field of medicine, what are they going to be? They're not going to be like the actual doctors. Let's be honest. They're going to be the nurses.
Yeah, they're a little too south for that. That's an Indian thing.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, man.
Damn. We live in a society. Well, yeah. it's every time, you know, and this happens a lot. I think we brought this up before, so I'm not gonna beat it again. But like the whole like Asian fetish that Westerners have now. I mean, I guess specifically the U.S., but whenever they do find their golden, well, I'm just gonna say golden calf, so to speak. It's always Vietnamese. Why do we have so many? Well, I guess I know why we have so many Vietnamese people here.
So you want an influx of Koreans to balance things out?
Listen. All I'm saying is, I have friends that I used to go out with that, you know, we'd always indulge in the Asian variety of cuisine. And we all kind of agreed that, you know, we had a dispute over which one was top, Japanese or Korean. I'm partial to Korean because they eat more beef and a lot less seafood. But we all kind of agreed that Vietnamese is kind of towards the bottom of that like Asiatic food style. Because I mean, if you get like real Chinese too, that stuff is pretty good too. They use a lot of pork and beef and stuff like that. Not too much fish. Not a lot. Soy's kind of it's there, but it's not like all over the place and all that. But Vietnamese, it's not bad. But like, I mean, it's all right. But yeah, that's basically the best way I could describe it. And like a better version of like that kind of cuisine, like the Southeast Asian cuisine, is Thai food. Because they use like a lot more like sweet flavors. It's not. I don't know. I can't even really articulate the proper differences between the two. But when I think of Thai food, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. When I think of Vietnamese food, like if somebody's mentioning to go out, I'm like, I mean, I guess it's fine. But yeah,
I almost tried some hot Thai before.
you're gonna need to clarify what you mean by that.
Nah, there was this like I don't know if it's like it was pad Thai. That's what I had. I was like, man, I want some pad Thai. I mean, this was like beginning of like 2022. And yeah, I went to this restaurant with this guy I was interning for his office. Like the people from there went there. Well, a couple of guys went there. And so like I went there and he's like, you gonna get the hot Thai or something like that? He's like laughing about it. And then like when the waiter asked, because I'm actually intrigued. I look at the waiter, I'm about to say hot Thai. He's like, no, you don't gotta do it. You don't gotta do it. So I just go like one level below on the hotness. Which was I think it was just hot or something. And I tried it. And it was pretty good. I mean, you know, I don't really eat spicy food anymore, but back when I did, that was pretty good. I used to actually really like spicy food.
I never got the appeal for it at all.
I see there was a point where I hated it. I just didn't like anything hitting my tongue that was hot. But then I started eating like Takis, and then I got a taste for it. And even though they made me sweat a little bit, I was just like, man, I actually kind of like hot food. So I just started eating more and more of it. But you know, that's really just not good for your gut.
You went down the American black woman route.
Well, isn't that hot Cheetos? Because I went more like a Mexican route.
Do Mexicans like Takis?
I think they also eat hot Cheetos, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I went down the Puerto Rican, or I don't know who else eats Takis. White girl, maybe.
White girls that want to be urban, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, nah, but like black and Mexican chicks, I'm pretty sure they just eat hot Cheetos.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
Remember the people that would like suck off the spice from the Takis?
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
That was disgusting. I hated that. I was like, why the fuck are you doing that?
Oh, I was gonna say, when you're explaining that that hot Thai thing, I was thinking of that one meme of the, hey, can I get a cheeseburger? Cheeseburger, all right. And then like looks back. I think it was like a Pizza Hut ad. Yeah.
I'm vaguely familiar with what you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just started thinking about the egg roll thing again.
I was thinking of the other one. The you know, whenever I see this guy come up to the plate, I just think of having Chinese food. You know, I want egg roll. I want
the sports announcer guy. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. So, what are your plans for tonight, Mr. Greg?
I'm gonna go to the gym.
Really?
No, hold on.
Singles while you're there.
Yeah, I was gonna clarify. I'm gonna go to the gym and not do that.
There's probably gonna be a lot of fat chicks tonight.
I don't. Well, yeah, you don't really go to like a commercial gym, but there's like the ratio between fat people, let alone fat women, and like in shape, generally speaking, people, it's like 90-10.
I just meant tonight. The hot ones are gonna be on a date, right?
I don't know. Well, they might be on like a gym date.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand that. What are your thoughts on the gym date, by the way?
Well, I'm trying to do different things, and I'm going to focus a lot more on upper body, so I don't really see it as being the best.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, but at the same time, you don't want to spend money
for an established girlfriend if you're going to do it.
That's kind of fair. It's weird too. When not like you swipe on like these apps, like the sugar site apps or whatever they call them, like
sugar
Tinder.
Site?
I don't know. Is that what they're called?
Those were like specific websites where like the girls are actually looking for sugar daddies.
I didn't even know what a sugar daddy was until like a week ago.
No, but you're just thinking about dating apps.
Yeah, basically like hookup apps, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Whenever you like swipe on there, all the women say, I would be down for a gym date, need a gym rat, would like to go on a gym date, which would imply, because people use that for like one and dones basically. Which would imply they're fine with just the gym date and then, well, what they came for, literally.
Yeah, well,
but granted, these aren't like, well, let's be honest here. These apps attract certain kinds of people. So maybe that's like just a skewed like sample size or whatever, but it's kind of indicative of the broader culture, I'd say, at this point.
The broader
yeah,
culture,
literally broader culture.
Okay, well,
so
I think it's possible that some of them actually might want like a boyfriend or something if he is like kind of like that gym rat guy. Like, if he's like this big muscly guy, they actually might want to see him a few times. So they might want to do that. I don't know. Or they think it's just an easy tag along to do. So it's kind of like, well, you don't really have to think of an idea. We could just do this.
See, but that's kind of, that's like sus on its own too. Like, so going with the first one of they want a gym guy, most women would want a guy that's in shape. The appeal isn't the gym guy. The appeal is a guy that's in shape.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't.
They're looking for a guy that has also that dedication,
Right. But they don't, like a normal woman that's like, hormonally like not skewed or whatever, probably wouldn't care about going to the gym herself with her boyfriend for the most part. Like maybe like once or twice or so, like to do like, there's like a certain like, I guess like closeness when like you're doing like something heavy or whatever, and then she tries to do something lighter, I guess, which that's fine, I guess. But like if she's like trying to compete with you, which I see a lot of buff women on these sites too. It's fucking weird. That's weird. I don't like that.
Right. Wait, so you're saying closeness is in like, it just shows that you're like, it's like, well, look at me, I'm big, strong guy. Well, look at you, you're like little woman.
Not like a degrading way, but like
no, I don't mean in a degrading way. I'm just saying like it's like a kind of cute thing to do. Like,
yeah,
it makes her look up to you, and it makes you think like, wow, like she's cute, trying to do this as well.
Right. Like there's an appeal there for sure. I'm pretty sure. But and then what was the other thing? There was another part I was going to bring up. I totally forgot what it was. What did you say after the gym thing?
It's just an easy thing for them to set up as like the first, like, even if it is a one-time thing, it's like an easy setup, I guess.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. Within female psychology, she usually wants a sign that you're able to and willing to spend a lot on her. So if they're going for that with that mentality, then it's like, well, I guess if it's a one and done, it's whatever. But like, still, it's like
they are looking to be rammed through as quick as possible.
Right. So
they're not even looking for you to prove anything. They're just like, yeah, just get in me. Just do it.
Birth control be like.
That's the kind of girl that's like, yeah, I have a dick appointment at 3.
Yeah, that is the most unattractive thing someone could say.
I know. I've heard that said before, and I was like, ooh.
What the fuck? I only
I've
heard
heard
that
that
in
in
like
real life from
movies.
a woman.
Was it a woman that we know?
No, I know.
Okay. I was thinking of the one. No, but she wouldn't be for
No,
that anyway
no.
because she hates people like
Right.
in
No,
general.
that
Actually,
girl that you're thinking of has like come up with strategies on how to get men not to talk to her.
people to go up and talk to her.
No, how to get men not to go up to talk to her.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
how to
saying.
look as like unappealing for a guy to go at as possible. Like look like you're not even happy. Wear headphones, that kind of stuff.
I was gonna say, if she wanted that, she could dress up like her roommate.
Yeah, that's. See, now we're getting into stuff that people don't even know about.
That's true. That's true. Uh,
But,
I brought her up.
I can't even make a joke about the kind of what the genre of person that this roommate is dressed up as. I can't even say it. I can't even say it. I'm not allowed to say it. They don't want me to say it. I'm not gonna say what kind of roommate this was.
I think it's
perfect profile picture too.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess this is a long-winded way of saying you probably shouldn't pick up gym girls unless you're bringing her to the gym.
Mm-hmm. Like if you consistently see her in the gym, it's probably not the best idea.
Yeah. What's funny too? I brought up that one girl that I thought was showing interest in me in the gym, right? And I go to the gym often enough, and then like every now and then I'll go with like some other buddies, like some other gym bros or whatever that I know, and we always see them there, right? And they brought up the like idea of it's like they're hot, but it's almost like a forbidden fruit thing. Like I would regret it immediately type thing. And I was like, no, yeah, that's a pretty accurate assessment. And like even like compounding on that, I got two sides of the same coin, like validating that point. My other friend, yeah, I don't know why I said it like that. My other friend, he's got like this thing where he'll like compulsively just hit on girls at the gym, and basically he was like, I'm about to do it, she's too good. Basically that's kind of validating the idea that, because he knows what he's doing too, he kind of just
he says I'm about to do it.
He doesn't say it like that. I think he actually did say it actually. No, yeah, he did say that exactly at least once, but and it was kind of like a running gag. Like he was like, I gotta do it. And me and the other guy are like, nah, bro, you don't want to do it. He was like, I'll not talk to you, bro. You don't want to do it. Don't ruin our time here or whatever. And it's even worse because like he's not even from around here, but me and the other guy, we go to this gym regularly and they show up regularly. So it would kind of fuck us up in particular if it like went south in some way that included us. But anyway, him doing that, he knows what he's doing for the most part, and he's admitted it to me. Like when he does that, he's not looking for anything serious. He's looking for a quick like fix, basically.
Hey, ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Please sign here. I appreciate your transaction. And I will never see you again and never talk to you again. Have a nice day. But yeah, like, so that validates it like double fold, basically. You don't want to date a gym girl, like a girl that goes to the gym regularly. Oh, and also
because they're the type to get picked up by that kind of guy.
Yeah, I see them talking like a different guy every other day. But the other thing is too. Okay, I completely lost my train of thought for a second. Wow. But anyway, they dress in a way like, listen, I don't really care how you dress like as a woman or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I mean, at a certain point, it's like, come on, you know what you're doing here.
You don't need to be looking like that to be comfortable exercising.
You don't. And I mean, if you do, it's fine. But like, it's to the point where whenever I bring anybody to the gym for the first time, or like the first time that they're there at the same time or whatever, there's like a lot of girls that are attractive there, obviously. But I mean, once I see them, it's like, it's literally like that one Lego Batman meme where they stop and like zoom in and you have like, music playing. I remember one time I brought like two other guys to the gym because we were like hanging out and they're like, oh, we got to go to gym day. And then I was working on 3 hours too. And I actually like got a new PR. It was pretty great. But anyway, we were working out and then they see them across the thing and he was spotting me actually. on the bench press, and he just stops, and I'm like, bro, you wanna focus here? I mean, I did the rep because I'm not gay, but it was a little concerning. But like that level of distraction, like cartoonishly distracting, not just because they look good, but because they emphasize it in a way where they're looking for attention, basically.
Bro, that's how I felt with that blonde woman with that cake.
I don't remember what she looks like, bro.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You have got to be rizzing me.
I mean, you probably should have been. Not me, but her.
Yeah. No.
So
it's over.
Basically, this is a long way of saying I have no plans. I'm gonna go to the gym and go to do the gym thing, and that's kind of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it's just coming and going this year. You know, I mean, I don't really pay attention to it that much most of the time, but it's like, man, I don't really care.
What about this holiday in particular?
Yeah, it's like it just kind of goes.
Yeah, even if I was in a relationship, I don't think I would
it's
really
like not
care.
that important.
No, it's really not. And I feel like it would be the thing where your girlfriend would nag you to remember it anyway. So it's not like, oh, yeah, I'll do the thing that we usually do anyway. But now it's dedicated to this specific day for some reason. So I don't know. I don't really give a shit. I think we should bring it back to the Christian roots of Saint Valentine. Hold up, I gotta look up what saint he is and make sure he's not something gay.
So what did they used to do?
Looking it up right now.
You know, apparently my dad forgot like for like 2 years.
What, that Valentine's Day existed?
Well, the day that it is.
Oh. See, I'm kind of forced to remember it because I have a buddy of mine whose birthday is today too.
Oh man.
Yeah, he hates it. But let's see.
No, I wouldn't mind because it's like it distracts me from having to hear about all this stupid shit.
We got a Redditor in the chat here. Love is just oh wait, hold on, yeah. What do you mean by that exactly?
No, I just mean like, you know, it's like it's kind of the branding of it and like, you know, the whole like it's like I don't even want chocolate, you know?
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's like it was fun as a kid, I guess. It's like, oh, you get free candy.
Yeah,
it's
that was
like,
great.
But it's like, what is there to even care about at this point? I'd rather take my well, what would I eat now? Banana split with grilled bananas.
I mean, I'm still kind of. I always love the sweethearts. Those things tasted great.
That's what I do now.
They would change the recipe, I think, or there's like a different version of it. Like I remember one time I get a box of sweethearts and I'd be like, "Holy shit, this is like the best flavor I've ever had." Yeah. And then like I'll get another box of sweethearts and I'll be like, "This tastes like fucking ass. What the hell happened?"
You know, so I don't know. Though, if you are if you're like married or if you got a girlfriend and it's your birthday on Valentine's Day, then you got to give her focus as well on your birthday. You got to also put in work on your birthday for that woman, man. It's like, man, you know, I got to make this day about you just as much as it is about me.
Or
so, yeah, that must suck for him, actually.
You could double it down and be like, you could like guilt trip her.
Oh yeah, not even do anything for her. Just be like, bitch, it's my birthday.
Yeah. Do it to me.
Do it to me.
Yeah, that's all you got to say. She'll know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah.
Well, you could say the sex is the gift from you to her for Valentine's Day, but it's also your gift, so you do it more than once.
Yes.
But it's like also that is what you're giving her for it. So you don't even have to go buy a gift. So you just have a lot of sex.
Nah, you kind of do have to buy a gift because then she'll feel like left out.
It's your birthday.
All right. So I looked it up. There we go. Patron saint of Terni. I'm assuming that's a city. Yeah, an Italian city. Epilepsy somehow. I don't even know how that's possible. I didn't even think they knew what epilepsy was because this is like 3rd century AD that he existed. And beekeepers. And then also Courtney Love.
What? Courtney Love?
No. He's like going to like the Romans. He's like, the good Lord say Thou shalt listen to Hole and Courtney Love. And like, the Roman guys are like, what the fuck is Courtney Love?
So you're saying this is about epilepsy and courtly love? That's what the holiday is about?
And beekeepers. This is what.
Wait, why is it about epilepsy? What the fuck?
I don't even know how they know what epilepsy was.
But why is it about epilepsy?
I have no idea.
And beekeepers. The beekeepers one I could see, kinda.
I don't understand how it's connected to Courtney Love, but I mean, I'll take free honey. Shit. Hold on, let me see. Epilepsy.
Maybe that was the sweet that they gave instead of chocolates.
I think
they didn't have chocolate.
Video on that. Yeah, they didn't.
So they're just giving out honey.
Okay, there's no justification for the epilepsy thing at all on the Wikipedia article.
Honey cures the epilepsy.
Quick, somebody.
It's epilepsy awareness.
You think he was like, we must love our opposite sex just the way our Lord loved his church. And also, we should probably do something about that epilepsy epidemic. But anyway.
And support our beekeepers at the same time.
Yeah, he just throws it in at the same time. He's like, it's like a Saint Olympics. I mean, shit. Courtney Love. I mean, I could. That's kind of. It's like a thing. But I mean, I gotta get my numbers up.
Jesus,
People
every time you say that, I can't stop thinking about Courtney Love now.
She killed Kurt Cobain, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I actually did hear that. Something like she made. It was kind of a retarded argument, but it was the argument. It was like, oh, she was such a bad partner to Kurt Cobain that he got depressed and killed himself or something like that. Which at the time I bought, but now I'm kind of like, did she really though? Anyway,
what was he, gay?
I mean, he did say he wished he was gay.
So you didn't have to be with Courtney Love?
yeah, it wasn't like some psychological thing or anything. He was just like, shit, I wish I was gay, bro. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Let's see. He's a martyr.
Who the fuck says I wish I was gay? That's like saying I wish I was born a girl.
I was going to say Macklemore, and then I realized he said I thought I was gay. My bad.
Back in the 3rd grade, I thought I was gay because my uncle was.
Back in the 3rd grade, I wish that I was gay. Imagine that.
Gay.
Yeah.
I have a dream.
There's this one really old house track by a gay guy, a gay black guy, because the early stuff was kind of all that. But it's like the instrumental, and then he just adds the entire I Have a Dream speech over it.
Interesting. No cuts, it's just overlaid.
I don't know. I've never heard the full speech. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't really give a shit to actually check it. But I'm going to say yes, no cuts.
If you wish you were gay, why don't you just start sucking dick? I mean,
you manifest it, bro.
You just do it. It works like that.
Yeah, you can.
If you
even if you're not into it,
it means you already have a desire for it. I mean,
even if you're not into it, you still did the action, so you're gay.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
So your wish comes true,
right?
Why would you not make your wishes come true unless you really didn't wish them?
Right.
So I mean,
do you really want to be gay? I mean,
exactly. It's called dedication. It's called drive. It's called purpose.
It's about drive. It's about power. It's about
we stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Black and Simone in my veins. My culture banging was strange. I changed the game, so what's my motherfucking name? Rock. What they gonna get though?
I only remember the gay version.
I don't even. How did it go?
It's about cock. It's about something.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember either one. I just remember that line. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how this was a thing. Yeah, I got nothing on epilepsy, and I don't think I got anything on honey either.
Okay, well, that must have been some sort of fake summarization of it using faulty information.
No, I looked up, controlled F, search through the page, and there's the only mentions of it are in the beginning when it says it.
Is this Wikipedia?
Yeah, and then there's actual sources about the epilepsy thing. So somebody said it at some point.
Now, hold up. Let me look this up.
Say it before a second. Oh, okay. So he sent some letter to some... Wait, who the hell is Asterius? Wait,
hold on. Okay. Let's see. So, this one is epilepsy.com. Valentine's Day, not just for lovers, Epilepsy Foundation. The celebration in honor of the patron saint of lovers, Saint Valentine, takes on greater meaning when you consider he is also the patron saint of epilepsy, a common neurological condition that causes seizures and affects nearly 3 million children and adults in the United States.
Skill issue.
So, apparently, he is also the patron saint of epilepsy.
They don't, I'm not seeing anything about, here, about how that happened.
And apparently, he's also the patron saint of beekeepers. In addition to loving honeybees, he is also the patron saint of epilepsy. He's shown here blessing someone having an epileptic seizure.
What?
Yeah, apparently he's shown blessing someone that's having a seizure. An epileptic seizure. I can't even say it. Epileptic seizure.
I only found him curing a blind girl. That's kind of all I found.
Well, look, he is the saint of Valentine's Day, of courtly lovers.
Oh, no way.
Of courtly lovers, of beekeeping, and of epilepsy. Those are his 3 things, okay? So he has, God forbid a man have hobbies. You know?
I guess so.
He can have other passions.
He's not dedicated to just a church. He's also dedicated to quality glyphosate-free honey.
Exactly.
It says here he got arrested for evangelizing, and he got sent to the emperor of Rome, and the emperor liked him until he tried evangelizing him. So he was I imagine him in his house, hey, how's it going, Valentine? And he's like, oh, that's good. Have you heard the good news? All right, well, you're gonna die now. He's knocking on people's doors and shit. Either announce his faith or he'd be beaten with clubs and beheaded. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so this holiday has a strange origin.
Oh, here we go. And then, let's see. An embellishment to this account, so it's fake apparently, is that he wrote a note to the girl he cured of blindness and said, from your Valentine, right before he was executed. And that's where the thing comes from.
Bruh. So it was made up. The whole reason behind the holiday was made up.
Yeah.
And also, he was hitting on a little kid. So
yeah, it was just,
yeah. What was the name of that movie again you just watched?
Shit. Poor Things, I think.
Yeah, this is like that.
I mean, maybe he deserves to get... Maybe he deserves to get beaten with clubs and beheaded then.
Yeah.
Maybe the emperor just made that up. He's like, yeah, the whole Jesus thing is fine, but I mean, a girl, bro? And he's like, well, Christ shows love in different ways. And he's like, yeah, no.
Look, love is love, but water is water, and you don't drink from the toilet.
I mean, listen, it's kind of a good point. Before his head was cut off. Wait, what?
So why chocolates? Why was chocolate decided the thing to give? Who said let's do chocolate now? Why not honey? I would love for people to be giving out jars of honey.
Yeah, that'd be great. And free honey? That lasts you a while, dude.
Free honey? I'd be celebrating.
I remember when I was a kid, I think we went to some bee farm or whatever, and we got samples of 4 different types of honey in glass. It was pretty dope. But yeah, I'm imagining it's some form of some market manipulation or whatever.
Yeah.
See, if you really want to show your love, you'll show them with a Hershey's Kiss,
like mouthwash.
Yeah, probably something like that. Halitosis.
Yeah.
If you don't give your loved one a Hershey's Kiss on Valentine's Day, she's going to die. You don't want your loved one to die, do you?
Exactly.
Better get them.
I mean, I don't even like after I stopped using mouthwash with alcohol in it, my breath got better. I mean, I just mean resting breath, like where you're just like waking up in the morning or like just sitting there for a while with your mouth closed. I don't even have the thing anymore where like, cause I used to have it where like I could sit with my mouth closed for too long and I'd start getting a little bit of a bad breath. Now that doesn't happen to me anymore. Hasn't happened to me in years.
Yeah, my like normal breath is kind of all right. That being said,
I don't wake up with like this disgusting breath.
Yo, yesterday actually, I woke up and I almost forgot to brush my teeth in the morning because I was like, my mouth feels fine. Like it feels like as if I had just brushed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just rinse with coconut oil in the morning generally, and it's good.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that.
Yeah, I use the baking soda and the coconut oil at night. Like I said, it works.
Yeah.
Keeps them whites white.
Whoa. What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything other than my teeth, which are white, are staying the way they should be, which is white. So what about this Putin guy?
Oh, right. Mr. Carlson had a very controversial interview with him. I don't know why I said it like that. But yeah, he did. Did you end up watching it?
Whoops, I realized my mic was muted. I was asking you questions over here.
Oh. Repeat. I employ you.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
You saying something now?
Yes.
See, now that isn't even me now. Now it's you. I don't know what's going on. I had my mic muted, but now it's back, and you're still not saying anything.
Can you hear me now?
I see that you're there. Oh, now I realize I hit a wrong button again.
Bruh.
No, I can hear you just fine. Yeah, I apparently pressed this ear button on my microphone after I pressed the mute one, trying to bring myself back, and it fucked it up. Anyway, so what were you saying? Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've watched like clips of it. I haven't watched the whole thing.
What are your thoughts on it?
The whole like thing about like Putin giving like a half-hour explanation, and like I hear it's like this thing where he's like trying to dodge the question. I mean, as much as like I don't think he's like right on everything, like I don't think what Russia's doing is correct, right? But like I don't just buy that it's like, oh, he's just trying to avoid it just because he's giving a history of the thing. Like, I mean, in his mind, or at least like in the sense of like what kind of justification you'd even expect. I mean, it would probably be that, right? Like, unless it was just straight out lies.
Yeah. I did take a few courses on Russian history. So, I mean, what are you saying? And I mean, I did forget a bit of it. It did seem like accurate. And I mean, if you're going to go into like he did ask why this started. And he was like, yeah, let me give you a quick history. I mean, he did lie when he said it was going to be like 30 seconds.
30 seconds to a minute.
But I mean, to be fair, if you're going to give like the best possible argument for why things are the way they are in that region and why you felt the need to do it, I mean, the way Europe works is these things have been going on for centuries. So, I mean, it only makes sense that he would try to give as big of a picture as possible. He probably could have trimmed some of the fat, but I feel like he knew that this interview was going to be like going live to like Western audiences that didn't have a chance to like hear any of the Russian side of the story, really. So he probably wanted to give as much context as possible. So, I mean, I don't really see an issue with that. And I think the whole argument of like, he's trying to dodge the question. I mean, he didn't though. Like he answered the question. He just gave like a big like preface for it.
Yeah. I mean, like, do I think that like there are really reasons to be launching an invasion as a state? No. But again, would I just believe the argument that it's like, oh, well, like, I'm talking like from like the media that like would be replying to it and trying to get people to essentially like believe it's actually the other way in a lot of respects. Like I mean, I know Tucker himself is like a media figure, so if anything, his audience is supposed to believe more so like not just like to be dismissing the Russian side completely, but then you'd have like the mainstream outlets, as they would call themselves, I guess, or that as they would be called by like those who prop themselves up as like being anti-mainstream. But you'd have those outlets sort of like telling people of the other side, like, hey, you know, this is actually just all just like a farce. It's like, look, you know, Putin's just trying to come up with excuses. Like, you guys should know that Ukraine is in the right here, but they don't necessarily like, you know, try to actually like come up with like arguments against the historical perspective itself. They're more so just trying to get people to believe that you shouldn't even like regard what is being said to you.
Yeah, it's and shit. They do this with a lot of things, actually, that I will not name. But basically, the argument is it's like a character assassination, and that's kind of it. It's like, well, we're the Western media, and we know the Russians are corrupt, so therefore, anything the Russians say must not be true. And everything we say, since we're the good West and we believe in freedom of opinion and all that, never mind the fact that most of the media is under one umbrella, we're telling the truth. And I mean, you should believe that. Like, I've never heard like an actual argument, like you said, opposing the Russian argument at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all I've heard is, well, they're Russian, they're evil, and they're our enemy, and it's invalid, and this, that, and the other, and Ukraine's our ally, and it's like, okay.
Well, I've heard like on one point where it's like, you know, specifically like having to do with NATO, where they're like, oh, well, actually, Russia was never told that NATO wouldn't expand like any more eastward. Like, that was actually never really told to them or something, or like that's actually taken out of context as a quote. But like, I mean, the thing is, like, when you look at the history of it, it's like, actually, you would see why a state like Russia was under the impression that these other states were at least giving their like word that NATO wouldn't expand.
Yeah, I was actually arguing with a buddy about that, and he brought up the same argument. I'll have to like look at that later. But yeah, the whole interview I think was interesting to say the least, because there was one point, I'm sure you probably saw it too, where like Putin called out Carlson for trying to join the CIA, and he was basically saying how like every time like Russia tried to do anything that was like amiable with like the West, that the CIA would like he talked to like he would like bring up that he talked to like different presidents, because you know he's been in power for so long, about like, hey, I have this issue, you think we could fix it? And the president's like, oh yeah, I'll look into it, or yeah, we're gonna make sure that's fixed. And like later on they'll be like, yeah, we, turns out I can't really fix that, so sorry. Or like I think one time he like got like a direct message, he said, from like the CIA, and he's like, yeah, no, we're gonna keep doing this. They even like sugarcoat it or whatever. It was something about like I think those Chechens or whatever. If we had that Russian guy that we know on, he would have been great for this episode, but whatever. But yeah,
I mean, like, Russia has a material need for what it's doing. I don't think it's literally because like it like, oh, you know, they're just enemies of the West and they're doing it because of that. So it's like there are like material incentives for why states engage in war and invade other places. But yeah, I was a little surprised as far as like Putin himself, like that at least being allowed on the air, like by Tucker or his production team, like them allowing Putin to call him out like that as like CIA or like potential CIA, or like, you know, dismiss, like, quote unquote, like he wasn't allowed in the CIA, even though that like kind of insinuates that like perhaps he could still be CIA. But like they just kind of let that slide. I don't know if it's because people really wouldn't get the insinuation, or like if Tucker, like, I don't know. I mean, like he's like pretty much like he's not far off from what a role would be in somebody who engages in like I guess propaganda when it comes to like, you know, telling people what's what. Like, because even though Tucker props himself up as like, oh well, I'm actually what the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear, still like it's more like controlled opposition than anything.
You know, I keep hearing this from I guess like other people in like in your like server. Could you elaborate on that? Because I'm not quite understanding it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, like, it's not really just about like having, like, when it comes to what the media wants you to believe, it's not really just about having like one literal narrative that you must believe this is this exact way. I mean, there are like conflicting points of view put out when it comes to like political perspectives, that they view it as okay people having, because it's still within the framework that like, oh, well, everything's still legitimate, but like we when it comes to like ways of operating or ways of change, like ways of affecting change, like actually the methods of affecting change are still legitimate. We just think that there are corrupt powers that are messing with that ability, or there are sort of like just other ideological influences that are wrong that need to be replaced by our ideological belief system, or those who believe those. Rather than actually thinking there is something wrong with the system itself. When, I mean, like it comes to example, like the government. So yeah, I really don't think the media like kind of peddles anything that's like subversive to the government. It's more so just like within the acceptable political framework where it's like, yes, everything's legitimate. We love America, or like at least we love the system of government itself, like checks and balances work. But, you know, there's this corrupting influence that needs to be taken care of, like this Biden DOJ guy, or this, you know, or Trump, like he's trying to take over the country and erase the Constitution and so on. So you're really just getting those sorts of perspectives that it's like, they're not going to tell you something like, oh, voting doesn't work, or like, oh, you know, like politics is a sham or something. Like you're not going to get those sorts of perspectives from them. And I know that also has to do with the fact that these people themselves have been raised up to believe that this is the case, like, you know, that these things are true. But what I'm saying is sort of like when it comes to the actual like things that are sort of like within allowable opinion, it's not just like, oh, well, it's actually what the leftists believe, which is within allowable opinion, or oh, it's just what the right believes that's within allowable opinion. Like these are, if anything, perspectives that are like there are many perspectives within the allowable framework that are allowed, and it's a matter of like using these things to get people to have ideological perspectives with which combat those of others. Like, for example, like left and right have been two big ones, which is like, you know, you get people to believe on the left that X and Y is true, like climate change and you know, shots and and what have you, and
shots.
You know, vegan. Well, you know, we'll just say that, you know.
I thought you meant like shots.
No. Anyway, and then on the right, then you have then like people where they'll tell them the opposite things, where it's like, well, actually, we need this solution, or like climate change actually isn't the case, and like, you know, the left's like political perspective actually needs to be opposed by politicians, and like, you know, so then you have like this sort of like trying to just gear people in a sense of like getting them to think that there needs to be people who represent these ideas rather than or like also that they need to fight with people who have opposing views rather than having like ways outside of this actual system that they can reorganize their life around what matters to them.
Okay, that was a pretty in-depth explanation.
Yeah, just take 30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah, allow me to give you a 30 seconds to a minute of an explanation. I think that was like a minute actually, though. But no, I see your point, and I guess I would agree to an extent. I mean, we have our differences, but for the most part, yeah, I see what you're saying, especially with like the idea of like alternate like media, like just because you're not on like Fox or CNN, then you're automatically trustworthy on this type thing, which I mean, that within itself is kind of a fallibility. The main issue I had with people that were saying that is that they don't take into account like what you mentioned before, that like some people are literally just bought into the ideology. It's not all maleficent necessarily.
Yeah. The thing with Tucker though is like why I'm especially sus of him is because I mean he's former Fox News. And even that's kind of like sketchy as far as how that worked out. But like the thing is like he has been, first of all, he did want to be in the CIA. Who knows how that went, if they just rejected him or if, you know, they just said they rejected him. I don't know. You know, that would just be speculation at that point. But he became a, like, you know, I think he was on MSNBC. I don't know if he was there first or what, but I know he like, you know, has went through these like outlets of media and went to Fox and has been within like this allowable sort of like sphere, because if anything, like, you know, anybody on those channels is going to be somebody that is like by consensus of what is beneficial based on what the media channels think is okay. Like all those executives, they're beholden to like the laws of like licensing and like and other parameters set in by the government. So like if anything, if you are there, you are essentially somebody that has like in the same sense as a politician sort of succumb to the incentive system that is present. Rather than, you know, actually try to give your like own beliefs for the most part, if you aren't just somebody who is sort of one of those people that is like, you know, just propagandized to believe all these things are actually true. But even if you believe something outside of these things, you wouldn't really be able to say that. And you kind of have to be okay with not doing it, right? If you want to stay there. So I think the whole like firing from Fox News, first of all, there wasn't really anything he said that was like egregious to the point where it's like, yes, he is a threat to our system. He needs to get taken out of here. He needs to be sent out. His life wasn't ruined when he was brought out of there. He pretty much just had an easy time getting on his X show. He was in a contract with Fox News even after the fact, like that stipulated that he can't go to certain places, and it really didn't seem to matter when he went to his X show. And like the way he's like speaking against Fox has more so been like, oh well, you know, they were fine while I was there, but you know, all of a sudden they were this corrupt organization, and you know, he wants you to sort of like buy into that idea to still seem like this anti-establishment figure.
To be fair, it could have been like a matter of like he didn't see it and then he just kind of realized it. But no, I see what you're saying too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just think a figure like that who has been in the media for so long would probably be more the former rather than the latter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it would just be somebody who just, you know, woke up and it's like, well, I have a problem with what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the only way you could say it. Because, I mean, at a certain point, I think when you're that high up, you can't really just be like, oh, I didn't know. I feel like it would have to be like oh, well, now I have a conscience now.
Right.
But I mean, there's another guy that's internet savvy. Well, there's like a lot of them now. It's kind of ironic how that works. How you get rid of so many people for saying things that are outside of the Overton window that you create a new market for people that are outside of the Overton window. But anyway, there was one guy who I won't name who's been kind of like removed everywhere, and he was talking about how he used to be in like these spheres of like general like right wing like well, I mean, it is kind of entertainment basically. It's not even really news,
I don't think he was there that long though. Like he wasn't in like a bunch of mainstream stuff. He just kind of had like some lined up that he could have gotten into.
Yeah, he was like in the process of getting like into it, and he was like in like an associated like branch of like you know, Daily Wire or whatever, something like that. And he started asking questions about like certain geopolitical stuff, and they're like, hey, yeah, you can't talk about that. And he's like, well, what do you mean I can't talk about that? You can't talk about that. Either you stop talking about it or you're fired. And he's like, well, I'm gonna keep talking about it. And what happened is he got like socially annihilated for the most part.
Yeah.
So
well, you know,
I mean,
I don't think like anybody who holds those sorts of beliefs just becomes automatically right because of that either. But I wouldn't say like, you know, this person's still like somebody who is part of this, even though they're, you know, they've been ousted. Like, you know, in the Tucker case, I would still be wary of Tucker versus this guy who I would say like, no, he was actually rejected from being a part of things because of what he was saying. And the things that he was saying, I would say was so problematic. I would say primarily because those things have sort of been like, you know, like there are things which are deemed taboo, which are not necessarily like subversive to say. And in, you know, whether you believe that in this case or not, I would say is a little bit irrelevant to the point I'm making, but I'm just saying like, there could be a multiple reasons why you're actually like, you know, ousted, why you're actually like, you know, sort of like they will try to make you somebody who is like, you know, doesn't succeed within the industry or anything like that. And a lot of it could just be because, you know, people have been sort of like already sort of like propagandized into believing like these are the allowable opinions, if anything, and anything outside of that still is like some people that should be, is like, or people who hold those beliefs outside of that are people who should be like deemed, I guess, you know, like you could call them the N-word, you know, but not, you know, the N-word you're thinking, you know, the one that ends in an I, you know, N-A-I-Z, right? But,
I like how you have to clarify that.
Point being, I'm just saying like there are certain people, or I guess certain beliefs that they will still sort of not want to include just because there have been a set of beliefs which are deemed sane and a set of beliefs which are deemed not sane or proper or something that is like problematic for the sake of like sort of keeping people normies.
Right. And yeah, to like your point, I don't think like you can get like, you know, destroyed in that like sense. And I think what it does prove to some extent is that you did cross a line, but that doesn't necessarily mean just because you crossed a line that you're right is the thing.
Yeah, I mean the line is just again like what they want the normies to believe for the sake of like, You know, because I guess part of trying to convince people that these expert opinions and these like opinions of like what the mainstream essentially will try to tell you, like to get to convince people to believe these are rational beliefs, they'll kind of have like a set of beliefs other than the ones that they don't want you to even think about, that are sort of like the ones deemed irrational, the ones that are deemed unacceptable, because like despite even having like certain views that they don't even want you to even think about in the irrational sense, because they just don't want you thinking about them. There have to be other ones that they sort of villainize and that they make you think like, these are the others. These are the ones that are not us. You must believe us.
Yeah. You know, I have a buddy of mine. He's not like super into like I mean, he's kind of down that like esoteric route. Like more of like a mystical kind of thing or whatever. But he says something similar for the most part, but not in like a controlled way, but more in like in a controlled way, but not in the way you would expect, I guess you could say. Where again, like certain people aren't allowed to say certain things, and you cross the line, so you get like removed or whatever. But that creates like a false sense of, well, why don't they want to say it? This therefore, what this guy must be saying that got him removed from this, that, and the other must be true.
Right.
And that's another like dangerous tactic, because I mean, if you look at like the things that they're saying, yeah, they will be putting like points out that are generally something they don't want you to like talk about for reasons that are against their interests. But then they'll say something else that's like, oh well, if you look at this is really not that different from what like is considered okay. It's just in a different context now.
Yeah.
And I think like a better example is of a guy that's kind of like outside of both of those in a way is maybe the guy that's a dancer enthusiast. We'll just call him that. Because I mean, he's like, if you look at it too, like the first guy I'm talking about, this is going to be like great for the viewers not knowing who the fuck we're talking about, but the first guy we're talking about, he's still known. He still has like a following. He's still like the guy of that kind of stuff.
I mean, whereas we can kind of use Alex Jones as a better example of that, because he still kind of falls into that category.
Yeah, that's true too. Because like Alex Jones, we were talking about Alex Jones actually. That's what we were talking about the entire time.
Sure.
Yeah. So Alex Jones, for example, like he has all these like wild theories, and because he's like at least surface level appearing to be anti-authority or anti-establishment or whatever, and people have like grown distasteful of that to some extent. Even like the normies are like, well, they'll like put it between like left and right, but still they're still to some extent against what's going on right now. They'll look at Alex Jones and they'll be like, oh well, he was removed from this, he was canceled here and there, but he still has a following, he still has this, that, and the other, he still has things, for example, that he won't even talk about, but he still has like this big following, and they'll still be highlighted, they'll still be in like headlines, they'll still be in like news and stuff. Oh, he said this, that, and the other or whatever, which kind of paints a picture of like that he's kind of there to be the like allowed other option outside of the, you know, allowed two options. But then you have the dancer enthusiast guy, who he's in a similar vein as him, but you don't hear about him unless you like really dig down on the internet. And he's talking about things that are like actually for the most part valid. I know like you probably like disagree on like some of his conclusions, but like for the most part, like his ideas, if you look at them like logically, they're not like just roundabout ways of saying the same thing, like something like Jones would say or whatever. Or like and he's talking about like certain things that you're not allowed to talk about, but he's doing it in a way where it's, you know, based on logic and not just like rampant like what's the word, totally forgot what it was, you just used it earlier, but whatever, like just asserting things without any proof or whatever. But yeah, like again, even the fact that he's doing that though, he's still not like, he doesn't have like a huge following, he's kind of underground. Again, nobody really knows who he is in that, like some people do, but he's like an add-on to like the other big figures that have been kind of like deemed unacceptable to have on X, Y, and Z platform. But yeah, I guess to go back to the Putin thing, because we kind of went on a tangent there, a valid tangent. I don't know. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I was mostly just thinking about those like couple points when it came to Putin. I mean, like, what else did he really say that's like very relevant to what we talk about?
I mean, I had like this one guy in a server I'm in, and he basically just said he gave like a blow by blow kind of like summary of the interview. And like at the end, he summarized, the last 30 minutes are Tucker giving him stupid, boring questions about religion and stuff like that, which is kind of accurate. Because Tucker starts asking him about like, oh, you're a Christian. How can you justify using aggression to invade a country? And it's like, this is nobody gives a shit about this stupid ass question. Normies care. That's about it. But and only half.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker makes a show that is supposed to include a lot of older folks in the audience.
Yeah, I bet Dave Smith, born in 1950, is like, I want to know how this Orthodox fella can justify, in the name of God, invading a sovereign nation. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, they were just kind of boring. And Putin gave like, I don't know, they're like decent enough answers given that like the retardation of the questions, quite frankly. The other thing he mentioned besides that, I guess, was like really just U.S. meddling. That's kind of it. In like foreign affairs, which I mean, I guess a lot of people don't know about. Like, people are aware of it, because like, you know, you'll have memes about like drone striking Syrian children and stuff like that. Like, they know about like stuff like that, but they just don't know how it happens. And Putin kind of breaks down some of the ways, at least in his like recollection, how it happens. I mean, I'm not saying everything he said is necessarily true, you know, and look into it yourself and all that, but I thought that was like something that's actually decent for people to be aware of, that, you know, just because you're the West, you're not necessarily the quote unquote good guys or whatever, or that everything that you hear about in the news, or that's like breaking news, leaked documents, this, that, and the other, are necessarily the things that they want you to know as of leaked thing anyway. So, and the thing is too, even though like, you know, he's like a state actor, he is an opposing state actor. So there is some incentive for him to like, you know, throw some dirt. Yeah. So some of it's like, he has some reason to actually do it. So, I mean, there's like, it's kind of like, why would he lie about everything type thing? So, and even then, like, you're just getting both sides, so you can decide from that point.
I shared a video, not now, but I'm just saying after we had started discussing this, in which Putin speaks English. I was thinking maybe we could watch it, you know, see what he sounds like on here, react to it.
Yeah, if you got it ready.
Hold on, let me. I'm getting an ad here. Okay, never mind. We're good.
Oh yeah, you're hosting this time, so I don't even have to.
I don't even have to wait on you for that. Let's see. Look at me, getting you ready, even though I'm the one doing this. Okay,
I'm mentally prepared. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this the first time.
Okay, so we got Associated Press. I think we might be good on the copyright since it's an AP video.
Okay.
Look, we are reacting to this. We are commenting. I'm commenting on these numbers. What's with those numbers? I've never seen numbers like that.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Numbers, Mason.
Being one of the major centers of the continent, spanning both Europe and Asia, Moscow is the meeting place of cultures.
Sounds like he's from Japan.
It integrates diversity, selecting it as
it almost sounds fake.
Of the 2012
Summer
Olympic Games would give the many people and peoples living here more confidence by underscoring the value of their aspirations to live and develop.
How do you think the people that are reading the subtitles that only speak Russian, that are listening to this while it's happening, like, how do you think they think about that voice, like, while they're hearing that?
They're probably, I'd imagine they wouldn't notice it that much.
You don't think they notice the voice?
I don't know. I feel like it's a part of it is, you know, just his actual voice, and part of it is him trying to like have a certain tone. Because like, have you ever heard like somebody from like a Slavic country try to speak English with a thick accent? It's like unintelligible. It's like really bad. So maybe he's trying to like clean it up extra well for like English speakers, and it just comes off like that. I saw one comment under that video basically where the guy was saying, I can hear his lunch money coming to me.
Yeah, it's like his lunch money's gravitating toward me.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that was strange.
Definitely. I didn't even know they had Olympics in Russia, to be honest. I thought that would have been like a no-no.
So apparently the reason I read from the comments was that it's because English is a nasal language.
Is it?
Yeah, English is a very nasal language, so the pitch is naturally higher, apparently, is what this guy claims. Let me look this up to see how true this claim is. Now, I've heard this before where I've heard guys who have deeper voices in other languages actually do kind of sound like higher pitched in English. I've heard this. English high pitch. Non-native? Is that what I should say?
I looked up nasal languages and I got French and Portuguese.
No, well, I see somebody else saying that my voice was way higher pitched when speaking my native language compared to English. That's strange. I've heard the opposite.
Wait, what? So he was speaking higher pitch in his native voice as opposed to English.
He says, I can physically hear the difference when I code switch. I've also noticed that I tend to be more direct and aggressive when speaking English. Well, that's not going to help if he's higher pitched.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess he is lower pitched in English. This guy. See, this guy commented, this is on Reddit. I'm curious as well. To me, this sounds, Thai sounds higher pitch and nasally, while Russian sounds deep. So yeah, it's a skill issue. Overall.
You can't win them all.
See, the Japanese, they sound better in English.
They still sound really funny, though. They do sound deeper, though, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's more respectable than Putin. Imagine thinking you respect a Japanese guy more than Putin.
Yes, how may I help you? How may I help you?
How may I help you? How may I help you? Welcome to Sushi Rock.
I think I'm going to get the general chicken with rice. So wait, what? It was... Wait.
It come with sushi. It come with sushi. It come with crab roll.
Crab roll?
Crab roll.
Well, was it called City Sushi?
Yeah.
Shitty Sushi?
Well, it was Shitty Walk and then City Sushi. Hi, welcome to Shitty Walk. That's how that one was. And then he's like, oh, welcome to a City Sushi.
Shitty Walk.
You need to get your Shitty Sushi out of here.
You know, the Chinese guy does sound higher pitched.
He's not even like actually Chinese.
No, yeah, I know. It's like a Trey Parker or Matt Stone, but like
even in the show, he's not actually a Chinese guy.
Oh yeah, there was like one episode where they like
he's like a doctor that like has multiple personalities. I just watched that one yesterday.
He does. Does that mean he like consciously does the eyes?
When he turns back, like his like when he switches personalities, yeah, his eyes just start squinting. He looks like a white guy, and then his eyes just start going like that, and he has a tooth poking out.
He does.
He's like a single tooth poking out. How does that happen when he transforms? I don't understand.
Maybe it's like a Wolfman type thing.
The tooth starts coming out.
Yeah, like you can start growing fur and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's just like your eyes start squinting and your tooth goes out.
Interesting. Did you see that Kanye paid like some $7 million for a Super Bowl ad? But it's just him like on an Instagram looking video.
No, I didn't watch the Ball of Super.
Well, I didn't watch it either, but I saw the Kanye commercial because it was everywhere. Let's see. We're going to look up Kanye's Super Bowl commercial and watch that too, because that one's pretty good. Here's some free advertising for Mr. West. Oh, wow. It was in my recommended before I even looked it up. Can you believe that? I didn't even have to look it up and it was already there on my front page. So I don't know. That's a little suspicious, but we're about to watch. It's like 30 seconds long. Let's see. Yay, official 2024 Super Bowl ad. Let's see if it comes up. It does not want to load for some reason. But we need to have this on. Oh.
And it's my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot.
Okay, hold up. I don't know why it's like laggy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing real quick to see if that fixes it. And refresh.
Is it fine before you share it?
You know, it's fine right now. But this is a little bit slow. I think my computer is just retarded. Let's see.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit retarded.
I'm going to be honest, Joe. I'm a little retarded.
Is that not him just kind of like admitting it too?
Yeah.
And it's my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial. But the idea is I want you to go to Yeezy.com, YEEZY.com, and I'm gonna write it at the bottom.
The subtitles are like actually in the commercial. It's like flashing the website.
And that's it.
Apparently that last like few seconds where he's like, and that's it. Like cost him like $3 million. Because of how much the commercial actually costs. Actually, how much did he spend on the whole commercial? I don't know if it says it in here on the description. It probably doesn't. Let's see. Kanye Super Bowl. Because there's no way the whole commercial only cost him a couple million. Let's see. Because there was some like news site saying it cost him like $3 million to do that last thing at the end. Just that like the little mumble thing.
Oh, like
apparently, I don't know. He made $19 million in sales after.
Jesus. That's still not even cutting even though.
Well, it says blowing $7 million in a Super Bowl commercial. How did that last few seconds cost him $3 million if the whole commercial only cost him $7 million? See, that doesn't add up.
I would think it'd be way higher to get an ad on there.
Well, anyway, he did make money because he spent $7 million and made $19 million in sales after. So
fair.
That was worth it to just put an Instagram video on the Super Bowl.
Maybe that proves you really don't need to put that much effort into like
marketing
ads anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's Kanye, so he's what sells. But then again, if some random guy was like, hey, my name's Jeff, go to jeff.com. I mean, you know, if you see that, you might actually be inclined to look it up.
I definitely would if it was a random guy.
Who's Jeff?
Yeah.
I need to know.
How do you get on here?
On the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think, but it's kind of unique. You know, it's not like every commercial can just be like this. If every single commercial was like that, then it would have less of an impact.
Right.
So
I prefer it over like the overproduced garbage that you'll see from like Coca-Cola or whatever. Just random, basically just Instagram reels in between the football game.
Well, did you see that? I didn't see the whole halftime show, but did you see what people were talking about with it?
No, I've completely cut myself from all things related to sports.
So you know Usher?
I know of Usher, yes.
You know Alicia Keys?
Unfortunately.
So anyway, they were doing the halftime show, and they were like performing together, and Usher in the performance, he's like grabbing her from behind. Like it's not like she doesn't like this, right? It's not like, you know, this isn't part of the performance, but it's just the fact that like this is a married woman with a guy like putting his hand in front of her as she's grabbing it. It's like very suggestive, you know.
Jarvis, pull it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that for you. But point being, and also we're gonna have to probably avoid any music being played during that. So let's see if I could just find Usher or Alicia Keys. But anyway, her husband,
who, way funnier about the music.
Was she married to like Swiss Beats or something like that? I forgot.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, Swiss Beats defends wife Alicia Keys' vocal performance. Oh well, that's because she had a voice crack at the beginning of it. Oh, Swiss Beats seemingly responds after fans notice how close Usher was to Alicia Keys. Let me see if I can find a picture. Oh, well, I mean, we got some on here that kind of, I mean, like if you were Swiss Beats, you'd be able to respond to this, right? Let's see.
Wasn't there something else about like Usher was hosting a party or like guested at a party and some girls like getting a bit too close to him or whatever that was married?
I mean, look at his hands around her.
Yeah.
Maybe I can switch if I go to another tab with it. Share this tab. Here, let me zoom out. I mean, see, look at that.
That's some embrace there.
I mean, and they do that. Oh, well, hold on. Let me see if I can
tattoos.
Let me see if I can switch to this image. See, look at this. This is more of like a look at where his hand is. That's the husband, by the way. So his Beats.
He's got the Michael Jackson glove.
Yeah, but look at that, man. I mean, look at the way he's embracing her. I mean, if you were this woman's husband, how would you feel about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
She belongs to the streets.
Yeah. You see, that's the thing about having like a wife that's like a performer, an actor or actress. She's gonna have to get close with, or they're gonna want her to get close with guys like that, and closer, if anything, depending on what kind of scene she does when in like movies or something. Let's say, I mean, not only be kissing a guy, she could be like portraying herself having sex with a guy.
That's exactly why I say anyone that's involved in music professionally, like as a solo woman, actually the guys too, really, when you think about it. Anyone that's kind of in like that mainstream, like Hollywood, music industry, even stuff like if you're like a top well, we already know what that means, influencer or whatever like that. Yeah, you're getting damaged goods, bro. To look elsewhere.
Damaged goods.
I mean, even that one guy that we're making. Can I say his name? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll take it out. Even like Sneeko or whatever. He was saying like when he was doing like modeling or whatever, they're trying to get him to like dress up in like gay stuff and whatnot.
Bruh.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're in the industry like that, anything that's referred to as the industry, pretty much, you're fucked.
Don't get into the industry.
Yeah.
You will wear a dress. That's today's lesson on Valentine's Day. Yes.
Don't get into the industry. Don't buy chocolates.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hit on girls at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And, take Tucker Carlson with a grain of salt.
There you go. That has been the podcast.
The podcast ever.
See you next week where we do more stuff like this.
We will do a line of cocaine live on air.
I will, definitely.